Happy May, everybody. Yes, yes, yes. Coming in here, breaking some energy up right away. All right. Um, Great day, everyone. My name is Miss Shay. I am the Sensual Shaman, here to bring you guys your May energy reports. The overall theme for May, y'all, is release the dark wound, let love in. Let love live, I'm sorry. Release the dark wound, let love live. As always, for the monthly energy reports, we will talk about how this theme is going to manifest and evolve us through our personal selves, our own individual growth, how it is going to help us see clearly our creations, and then also what this theme has to do with our relationships. Okay, and so just intuitively what I'm getting from this card, and I'll show you guys in a minute, the skin on this person's hand is so translucent, so much so that you can see the bones. And you can also see the bones a little bit in the fish as well. So for me, this dark wound here, it's something that has calcified within you, so much so that it has changed your behavior, it has changed your narratives, and it has changed your language, right? Because so much of our language informs how we behave, right? So if I say something, then that means that I operate in this other way. So there's a wound here, and I resonate with this so much. There's something coming up for me, my trust, my the way that my heart has hardened when it comes to trusting others, right? That is something, right? We're getting to the bare bones of something here. Show y'all that. Y'all see the bones there? So we're getting to something here that is really has gone deep and has calcified within us, and we're needing to let love in, to break it up, to tell ourselves a new story. Let's get into this oracle card, because I know it said something really beautiful, and then I stopped reading and I was like, oh, this is gonna be good. So release the dark wound, let love live. If we detach something from its source too soon, trying to force it to become what it is not yet ready or willing to become, we can unintentionally sap it of its strength and kill it. So this sort of reminds me of like sort of plants. And if you guys are like super into plants and gardening, then you know that this sort of, when you can sort of take something from the root and then replant it, I forget what it's called, y'all. But right, there has to be it has to be at the right time. It has to have matured, right, before we try and move it elsewhere, right? So this is telling me to let our creations evolve, right? Just immediately that sentence is telling me to let your creations evolve, let the relationship evolve. You're trying to force something to be something else when it has not matured into that quite yet. It hasn't gotten there yet, and there is nothing wrong with that. This is a process. There's a dark wound in the consciousness of humanity which demands perfection and denies process. Exactly. I'm going to read that again. There's a dark wound in the consciousness of humanity which demands perfection and denies process. Creators, come on. Anybody, all of us are creating something that we want to bring into this world, and we're trying to make it perfect, not seeing that this is a process. These videos here, like, this is a process. This isn't the end of what I'm going to do, but it's really important that I stay disciplined and show up here for these weeklies and these monthlies, because this is part of my process, right? Having difficult, uncomfortable conversations with your loved ones, your partners, and your children is a part of the process of love. You do not perfect love just by having a child, right? Oh, I love this child. They're so perfect. And the sort of honeymoon stages of relationships and the first bright idea that you get really excited about. And then there's this point of roadblock. The roadblock is a part of the process. We're so obsessed with how it should look at the end and not falling in love with the process, right? You have to let go of the death grip of perfectionism and let yourself and your ideas live. Love is abundant, creative, and inspiring. It moves us so much joyously and creatively than fear. You are being asked to honor the path of your love. What inspires you? What feels exciting, joyful, and perhaps even rather different? Let that live. Release the dark wounding of false belief. And then it talks about here how so many creations and things were lost. Lost, so much work was lost to fear, right? It did not even have a chance to breathe, to be. And I feel like I've said that before. Spirit said that before. Do not let this happen to you. Whether something is meant to be commercially oriented or a more personal creation for your own therapeutic healing, it must be allowed to be without judgment, without criticism, even without premature evaluation, right? It's not meant to be critiqued yet. Just write the thing, just do the thing, just edit the thing, just color the thing. It must be allowed to be what it is, and only time, love, patience, and attention will reveal it. All right, let's stop right there because, whoo, my God. We are going to look at how this is going to, what do we need to understand? What needs to be released, Spirit, for our individual selves, so that love can live within us in our own beings, in our own hearts. Death is the healing. So in our own personal development, there's something, like I said, there's something that has calcified in your heart at the base of your spine that needs to be released. And I can feel it right now. I'm finding it hard to breathe. Yeah, I'm kind of interested. I usually don't read from my liminal space oracle deck. But I'm moved to look at it today. A virus is programmed to avoid detection by the host, right? The virus is sneaky, right? It's sneaky. It lives and it's like, oh, let me go ahead and attack this, this, and this and go undetected by, right? But here you are. Some would say life is the virus, while others assert that we can only fathom death because we were once dead. Nonetheless, death is the doorway that transports you from this plane to another. If the greatest human affliction is our attachment to our stories, then death is the ultimate healer. Wow. Death is the ultimate healer, bringing with it a relief from the pain and burden of them, right? Let that story die. Let that connection die, right? Because the way that you were relating, the way that that narrative was manifesting in your life, it's not helpful, right? If you tell yourself this story about men or women or dating or who you are as an artist, if that's not a productive story, that will show up in your behavior and your actions and your conversations, right? So let that story die. It needs to die. Relieve yourself of the pain of that old story and the burden of it. It's a heavy story. That's a heavy story that you're unworthy. That is a heavy story that you're a failure. Let it go. And I don't know if y'all need to write this story over and over again, but like, you are an expression. And expression does not worry about perfectionism, right? We're worried about perfectionism instead of the process. I am expression, and expression, yeah, sure, there is this book, but the artists themselves, the painter themselves, the writer themselves, they keep on living in their expression. Does that make sense to y'all? Like, I really feel like us as humans, like, yes, this work that we create, right? These projects that we have, they are expressions of ourselves, but our very lives is an expression, right? So that's why that movie Soul, it was like, yeah, this one big thing, this one big break, this one big event is really cool. It's a way for you to express and show out and say, look at all the skills and the love that I've put into this piano, right? And here it is. But man, what if I lived like a musician, right? Not just produced like a musician, but what if I lived like one, right? What if I lived my story that I'm a writer and a fairy and this sort of, right? And I am the sensual shaman. What does the sensual shaman live like? right? It's not about the events that I book or the conversations and events and workshops that I hold. It is about how I live and how people see me every day, right? So maybe the story that we're needing to release is that I am only as valuable as what I create, right? And start to now release that, burn that story, let it evaporate into the ethers, something, transmute it, and now take on the narrative that I am an artist in expression. And today I choose to express by cooking something really beautiful for myself, right? That doesn't mean I need to write something today. Yes, it's important that I attend to that craft for sure, because it is one of my favorite modalities, but living is my expression. Let me stop, y'all. I'm getting excited. Do not grasp so tightly to the trappings of this life that you are unable to see the mercy of this life cycle. You were born to live into. What is lost will again be found. Yes. So if you lost joy through a relationship or passion through a relationship, it can be found again. You are infinite. You are the expression. You are the thing through which the passion was expressed. You think you can't find that again? You think too little of yourself. You think too little of yourself. Finally, Spirit asked us to do this in a sort of new way. In my last Reiki Reflect class I just had in April, we were asked to be the sacred fool, which is to kind of break tradition and be seen as off kilter and a little bit strange. And I'm feeling this energy right now with this not normal card coming in, as far as how we are meant to evolve and develop. Like, do something a little bit not normal. And something not normal is to say, yeah, I'm an artist, and I just, it's to sort of rename ourselves and reframe what it means to be an artist, to be an engineer, to be an architect, to be an interior designer, to be a travel blogger, right? To be a mother, to be a father, to be a parent. You get to reframe what that looks like. And I know that I am here on purpose because I believe that you can do that. I really, really do. I think that we just have to be a little bit daring. We have to want to break the mold, right? Break the framing, right? This older television set, right? The fact that now here we are again listening. Uh, we could change the shift in this culture, in this society, right? That's why we say things like abolition, abolishment, right? Break it, right? Break it. Just like we're asking to break the prison, right? The school to prison pipeline. Just like we're asking to completely abolish the way that the police is the very foundation and structure of it, breaking it. And I think that's really interesting that we see the ways that we try to reform things, and it's like, that's not working, right? And so there is this need to release this dark wound, break this dark wound, like really shatter something. Something needs to be shattered, right? There's something similarly to, right, society with the police and these murders. It's like, right, I'm thinking about the good and bad apples, right? What is at the root? What's at the root here, right? Like I said, the bones, right? These are the bones of things, the root of things. Yeah, this feels like an Ifa. Um, we talk about cleansings, right? And things, oh, do a prayer, or just do a bath, but this feels like something deeper than the spiritual bath isn't going to do this. Okay, there's not a spiritual bath that's going to get to the root of this dark wound, that's going to get to the root of the poison in this system that we live in, right? And then also the toxicity of the stories that we tell ourselves, right? These toxic stories run our lives, and now we think that we can't trust people. And so now here we are having these relationships that are just sort of, right? It's because you don't trust. And so you can't really have the brilliance and the vibrancy of full love if you lack trust. So this requires more than a spiritual bath. Okay, this requires some deep, deep healing. And I feel like I'm going to need to make a different video about this later on in May because I don't want to spend too much time on this. But there is also a need to deepen your own intimacy. Into me, I see. So this card is asking us, like I said, to allow our relationships to reflect back to us what is needing to grow and evolve, right? Sometimes our partners trigger us in the best way, and we have to allow it, right? And this concept applies beyond romantic connection. What do the dynamics in your closest friendships, work relationships, and family say about you? Relationships are extraordinary opportunities for healing when predicated on honesty and caring. They have a great impact on how you contribute to the world. Now, speaking of our contributions, let's have a look at how this dark wound is needing to be released through our creations and the things that we want to give to this world. It says no. The card we got is no one is coming for you. Got this man sort of lost in space, lost in limbo. Again, this is very much feeling like this sort of energy. This death is the healing, right? First, we've got internal death is the healing, needing to let the deep healer that is death free us, right? No one is coming for you. Not to say that you cannot heal with community, because it is necessary, and it is how I did my healing, right? I was with a shaman, as many shamans, and now here I am, the sensual shaman, right? So I had to allow some things to shatter. And sometimes it's just that first crack, and then, some shards remain, and those cuts still come later on in life, right? But the point is, we need to have a major shattering, a major death moment, a major breaking. And we need to choose this for ourselves, because no one is going to come and say, do this healing, right? Nobody can take your hand and make you heal, right? Healers are not really healers, right? They're only here to support you so that you can do the work. It's about the devotion, right? No one is coming for you tells me that you have to be devoted to you, to this, to becoming, to letting love live in your life, right? You need to be devoted to that. You need to be devoted to that. And I'm going to leave that right there. Because to devote yourself to your work, to your art, to your family, it is to be devoted to yourself first, right? You have to. You have to take the quest, right? You have to say yes. You have to say yes. You have to say enough is enough, right? I was laughing to myself about this in my car. I was like, this spiritual journey is really just you continuously, like every few, you know what I mean, every continuously telling yourself, I'm sick of how this is going, right? I'm sick of this. I don't like the fact that this is, I don't like this wall in between me and this person. I don't like this wall in between me and my creations. I don't like this wall in myself, right? I don't like this inner conflict. I don't like I don't like the debates, or the I don't like the discussions me and my partner are having. I'm tired of us having to fight about the same things, right? No one is coming for you. You have to decide yourself to say yes to death, right? To say, okay, I'm tired of doing this, so I'm going to invite this to die, right? I'm ready and willing to let this die. All right, moving on to our relationships closest to us. Live a fantasy. Okay. Now this came up in one of the weeklies, but I'm going to disregard that. Hold on before I get into this. All right. So for some of you, you're needing to let go of the fantasy that you are this sort of these false stories that you're putting on people, maybe putting them on a pedestal and not letting their humanity, right? You're trying to, right, the perfectionism, right? You're denying the process of love and you're trying to make it perfect now. And you're trying to, oh, well, yeah, we're going to have this very, right? And I just read this article from Gottman Institute, which talked about choosing when you're dating. It was a dating article about, are you picking a life partner or a prom date? Right. So live a fantasy feels like that, sort of like I'm picking a prom date. I'm picking the person that has like very nice hair and she always does her makeup and she looks like this and they look like that and they have this job and all of these sort of surface level things. And in the article it talked about, well, yeah, your prom date, right? They look good, right? It looks good to others. It looks good on the surface. But a lifelong partner is someone that you can say, yeah, I can build a life with this person because they have emotional stability or they're really good during conflict, right? Or when they're down on their luck, they don't take it out on me. They have a very healthy way. They work out or they go on a trip or, they have healthy coping mechanisms. Do you know if you're this very nice looking person, right, that you say you want, and he has to be 6'4" and have muscles and da da da, right? And she has to have this kind of body and have this kind of hair and present herself in this way. Are they a life partner though? Because that's what you're going to want. And the article was saying you want somebody who's going to help you take care of your parents and be really good at having tough conversations when it comes to your children, if that's what you decide to do, or somebody who's really good at helping you work through a situation, right? I don't care if this, you know what I mean, if he looks like this, if he can't help me when life starts lifing, right? And then for others of you, live a fantasy could be this sort of hold on, I'm feeling something here. Give me the words, please, Spirit. Something wanted to jump out. Woman holding a coin, man holding a heart. So really you're finding your physical and your emotional needs being met, right? So for some of you, you need to stop choosing prom dates. You need to really get real about what it is that you want. Maybe even take a step back and stop dating, I would say. For some of you, stop looking, stop entertaining. And for others of you, Spirit is saying, yes, live this fantasy. Yes, you can have it all, right? You can have it all. You can be the woman holding the coin and have a man who is ready and willing to hold space for your heart, right? And men, for you, yes, you can share your heart with this woman and she is here and stable and sound mind of heart, sound mind, body, and spirit to hold space for you, right? So yes, you can have it all. So that's what I'm feeling for the two of you, for two different scenarios. Don't sit up here and lie to yourself, okay? Don't sit up here and lie to yourself. Spirit, now for my people who are living a fantasy and needing to sort of set back and reevaluate and stop looking at just appearances or putting people on a pedestal, what's your advice for them, Spirit? I would say commune with nature. Like I said, take a step back, kind of be by yourself for a little bit. Be open to the signs and synchronicities around you when it comes to animals and nature. And this also might be a really beautiful time for you guys to create. Okay. And then vanity just came up. Like, I thank you, Spirit, for the confirmation. So yeah, a lot of you guys are very much worried about appearances, and you need to start thinking about being a mate to your own soul. Like, I'm sorry, if that's really what you're valuing, then it's time to reevaluate yourself, because that's not why are you valuing these things that aren't going to provide for you long term, right? And that, hey, some of you guys are just dating and just wanting that sort of companionship. That's fine, right? But I'm talking to the people who are trying to live a fantasy that this person who only has X, Y, and Z can provide a lifelong stability for them, right? That's who I'm speaking to. There is a need for those people to really look inside of themselves and say, well, why is that important to me? And why don't I think that I should be paying attention to their emotional stability and their ability to have uh, deep and meaningful conversations, and then also, like I said, conflict resolve, and who are interested in relating to each other better, right? Who people, yeah, this man is fine, yeah, that woman is fine, but do they listen? Are they open to opposing views? And then for those of you who can have it all, right? Who need to allow spirit to surprise and delight you when it comes to love and be in trust. Oof, expansion. Yes. Yes. There's going to be all of this sort of resonance, and like things are just going to start making sense for you guys. Thank you. Yeah, so that you guys are going to be finishing this sort of point of like haziness where you're like, wait, hold on, what is this? And on the April 25th weeklies, I did have this sort of clarity was coming, that the veil is thin. So maybe mid-May, end of May, you guys will have that clarity about what's really here to expand you, the love that's here to expand you. And again, maybe it is just, you coming to a point of belief and truth, right? This death, maybe the old narrative that you're letting die is that you can't have it all, and that you're going to have to succumb to sort of, well, that sort of thing, and really getting to the truth of the matter. Perhaps coming out of this sort of vanity perspective and saying, hey, you know what? Like, these are some things that I thought that I wanted, and now I'm realizing that this is what really matters, right? Emotional stability and a sort of deep connection with themselves, right? You're letting go of those vain ways and coming into this new, deeper understanding, which is going to lead to true soul expansion, right? You guys are looking for ego expansion, right? For somebody to inflate your ego and to have a trophy husband or wife or partner, and realizing that you are wanting a soul partner, a life partner instead. And finding, we've got completion as well. Like I said, coming out of confusion and into completion. All right, beautiful people. I will definitely be checking in with you guys for May, because this was a lot. Thank you guys for staying tuned, and please like, share, and subscribe, and share this with somebody that you think will resonate with this message. I hope that whenever this message finds you, it brings you so much support, so much love, so much clarity, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.